Aboriginal people are overrepresented in prison and prison terms because they are committing higher rates of serious crime. Now, in Australia, people don't get sent to jail and serve terms of imprisonment for no reason. They do it because they've committed crimes and that's their punishment. We have a well-functioning system of courts. We have an appeal system. We have very open justice. We have a requirement that magistrates and judges explain their reasons for judgment. We have a very well-functioning system, and to somehow suggest that the incarceration rates are a result of the system not functioning or racism or all these other factors, and to overlook the rates at which serious crime is being committed, once again misses the obvious. As a result of my observations about Aboriginal offenders and the effectiveness or otherwise of programs. And this reflects, again, sadly, other aspects of Aboriginal community and family functioning, really, that, in my view, does reduce the effectiveness even of those programs which are effective otherwise for communities. And that relates to a matter which is both a strength and a weakness of Aboriginal communities. The strength is, and I always liked it, there's always a place for someone in an Aboriginal community. And, you know, there was never an Aboriginal child who had nowhere to go on bail. There would always be a family member that would put their hand up. And certainly the importance of family and settling back in the communities, particularly for people that come from regional and remote communities, is very important for them. And when it functions well, is a real strength. However, one of the weaknesses seems to be that the tall poppy syndrome that we have in Australia is particularly alive and well in Aboriginal communities, and that there will be people who've done well. They've done well in programs. They may be children who've done well at school where they've had scholarships or whatever. But once they get back to their community, somehow there seems to be this suggestion that their success and in relation to rehabilitating themselves, for example, is somehow something that's been imposed by white society, and that it's not something that they should be proud of or continue in their own community. And in effect, the people get dragged back into the dysfunctionality that exists in so many of the communities. And, you know, the attitude of, well, you know, what do you want a job for? Or why do you need to get decent accommodation for yourself? You can come and live with us. And what do our kids need to really complete school for? And in relation to reoffending, unfortunately, that some of those drivers for offending sort of re-emerge after a person appears to have successfully rehabilitated themselves. And sadly enough, some of the people, in order to do their best, they have to separate themselves from that community. And it is sad because the community at other levels gives them such support. And as I say, I do admire and think that it can be a real strength of the community.